Okay, so on this question, we've got 25x squared minus 49 equals 0. So we're trying to solve x squared with an equal sign. How do we do it? Well, step one is we factor. Well, I won't even write steps. You know what we need to do. We need to factor. So that means 2 parentheses. Keep the equal 0. And how do we actually factor? It's multiply, multiply. Remember when there's only 2 terms, it's multiply, multiply? If there was a third term in the middle, it would be multiply, add, multiply, wouldn't it? But if you just have the 2 terms, the middle's missing, so it's just multiply, multiply. So that's easier. So that's going to be 5x times 5x to make 25x squared. Front times front to make front. And then what about the back? Well, that's going to be 7 times 7. How do you make negative 49? 1 positive, 1 negative makes negative 49. We good there? Like that? And now, where do we can't stop here. Why? Because we have the equals. If we didn't have the equals 0, then we would be done. You know, right here, we're done. But we have equals 0. So that means you got to keep going. What do? Then you set each one equal to 0 separately, don't you? Each one equal to 0 separately. Why? Why is that? Because you know the logic. If I said, hey, I'm thinking of 2 numbers, I multiply them together and the answer comes out 0, you know what that means. That means the first one is 0 or the second one, right? Either one can be 0 because 0 times anything is 0. So that's what this is saying. 2 things are timesing, right? Parentheses to equal 0. So that means the first one could be 0 or the second one. So then we just solve each of those. So subtract 7 from both sides here. Boom, boom. And we get 5x is minus 7. And then divided by 5. Boom. So minus 7/5, that's one answer. And then over on the other side, 7 to both. And these cancel, and I get 5x is positive 7. And then last step is divide by 5. Boom, positive 7/5. So the answer, so we actually got 2 answers. Our answers are negative 7/5, comma, regular or positive 7/5. You can put them in either order. You can put the positive one first and the negative, doesn't matter. But you got to put the 2 answers and separate them with a comma like that. Those are the 2 answers that make that equation true. Meaning, if you plugged in for x, either positive 7/5 or negative 7/5, and squared it and times 25 and squared 49, it would come out 0 for either one of those. Those are the 2 answers that balance the equation, that make the equation true. So what did we do? We factor with the 2 parentheses, multiply, multiply, and then we set each one equal to 0 and solve. So there we go.